moment, I guess. And
Yeah.
just, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so let's talk a little bit about next year.
Yeah, so exactly. I was going to say, so let's look at, all right, so we're still in the game. We're hanging in
Yeah.
there. We haven't given up. Yeah. What's going on? What are our next projects?
I just had a realization that there are parts of running a business I really am not good at or I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
And I have resources of people who can help me with that, and I just haven't tapped them.
Right.
And like one thing I should do, and I'm just sitting here like, why haven't I done this? For the first 6 months, I sort of had a schedule and it went really, really well because I was working with my friend Suze Polinsky.
Mm-hmm.
And she had coached me. She's like, this is what your day-to-day needs to look like. And I did that, and now I've gotten away from it. And I'm like, I feel like I'm floundering. Yeah, idiot, because you stopped doing the thing that was working.
Right. Isn't that funny?
Like as I'm complaining about scheduling, I happen to just like look at my planner where I took notes with her, and which is her planner. And it's like, hey, Zach, you need to get some automation software going so you don't have to fight with scheduling. That would make a whole part of my job more enjoyable if I did the thing I was told.
Right. Isn't that great? It reminds me, we got to do an interview with Ryan Carella, and he was, in his book Break the Business, he talks about outsourcing. There it is. It's like, look at your strengths and your weaknesses. You don't have to learn how to do the things you hate or are really bad at, because there's other people that do that. So for me, I had this website on my to-do list for a long time. And it just wasn't getting done. So I hired a friend who builds websites, and it got done. And it looks great. So, so yeah, like that, and I think that's it too, is, you get good at looking at your resources and just realizing the cool community and support that's there. And that helps avoid the overwhelm. So yeah, we're very fortunate in the cool community that we get to tap into. And yeah.
Well, and what's interesting is like when I was working on the Go to Bed Angry for my next album, like I didn't hesitate at all to reach out to you and say, hey, will you sing on this? I need you to sing on it. But like when it comes to, like if I know I need help with music, I have zero problem going to people and saying, I need a better bass player, I need a better drummer or whatever. Like I can't play this, will you do this? But when it comes to business, I apparently am, I don't know if I'm self-conscious or what that is.
Yeah, because I think for me, maybe it is because I feel like because I'm a smart person, I should be able to figure this out.
Oh yeah, I feel like you're a lawyer,
there's
Zach.
like some shame around that of being like, I don't know how to do my taxes. I don't know how to build a website. So yeah. So you kind of, I don't know, you learn how to be humble and like you're saying. But when it comes to music stuff, I'm very aware of my strengths and capabilities and where I need other help. And I have got no problem saying, hey, I need help with this. So, yeah, kind of fascinating.
So what are you going to do differently this year besides, I think we're going to reach out for and use our resources, but like what's something different you think you'll tackle this next year?
I think it's following up on some momentum from this year, because I'm looking at whenever the Hard Road Trio, the band that I gig and tour with the most, whenever they're not busy, I'm working on developing kind of my own stuff outside of that. And so I think that's going to continue to develop. And I'm looking at, people that I want in my band, So I think, stay tuned for that world. And so, I see that I'm also getting better about using different social media things and reaching out on that. And I think what I'm also doing is I've been taking my own practice a little more seriously.
Cool.
And and especially, a new instrument will help do that. So
it's funny, right? It's when you start doing something different, all of a sudden it makes you do everything a little better.
Oh, it does. It does. So that's very cool. So I think it's more of, I think I'm continuing to step up more, because I've I've been content to be the bass player in the back that shows up and keeps the beat and lets other people do the talking and the writing and the singing, and every now and then I'll step up and do something. And so I'm looking at how I want to participate more. And so I think that's what I have felt changing for me, and then will continue to develop, is just me being a more active part in my own life, my own musical life. So yeah.
I'm excited to see how you step into the role of being the front person.
Right. Me too.
I want to see that. Just because I've known you for so long, I know you're going to be really good at it. I'm just curious to see what it's going to look like.
Yeah. At least I've had one opportunity where like I've been band leader because I threw together a band for a party and, was making the calls. And so I'm getting some practice in that and seeing what I like and seeing other people, other band leaders and other musicians, and trying to emulate what they do and be like, okay, this works really well and this doesn't. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at for me this coming year, and just continuing to write a lot when I'm really loving that. So
Sweet.
Yeah. How about you, Zach?
I'm going to quote
exciting things coming up right away though too. So
yeah, my new record comes out in September, which I'm really excited about, and I'm really excited to have you featured on that album. Just
this too.
For two reasons. One is I think your vocal makes that song way better, and I'll put a link to where you can get the song in the description. I think your vocal makes that song better. Also, it's just fun to be like, we have been in bands together for a little bit before, but like we've never collaborated on that level before, so that was just really fun. So I'm excited about that record coming out. I'm excited about all the songs on the album, not just that one, but that's the one that like I'm really excited about the most. The other thing that I've got coming up is I've decided to take the advice from Ron Swanson and say, there's an episode of Parks and Rec where he says, you should never half-ass two things, only whole-ass one thing.
Amen.
And what I've discovered is in the past month where I've been like frustrated, it's been because I'm trying to do too much and I'm not doing anything well. And so I'm going to start doing one thing at a time. And whether that be working on developing my email list or working on getting on Spotify playlists, because right now I'm trying to do 10 of those things and none of them are getting done.
Right.
So I should just do one thing. So I think that'll be my biggest change.
Awesome.
And then the next thing, my record comes out in September. That's the first half of the double EP release. Thus, I'm going to shoot to have the second half out in mid 2019. And
man, that's great.
That's the next thing.
You're rocking, man.
It's fun. It's going to be quite the trip. And then the third thing that I think is going to be big on the year is that the Zach Sloan band is actually starting to write as a unit to try and maybe do a release of something that's not just me, something that involves those guys as well. So
awesome.
That looks like my year, as well as maybe adding some law practice back in, but we'll see.
Yeah. Cool. So maybe we'll see if this is where this leads, or if we want to include this. So our video a year ago, we kind of ended on the question with, how freaked out are you right now? You just quit your job and, you've got a smattering of shows, a little bit of income. What's going on for you? So, so a year later, Zach Sloan, how freaked out are you? It's, still being committed to music on the level that you are.
I think I am more and less freaked out, because when I first walked away from the practice of law, I was really ready to just make music, and I needed a break, I think, from law generally. I also was like sort of high on this new adventure, and so things like money didn't really occur to me. Like, it was like, I was like, I'll be fine.
You're right.
And I have been fine. So
yeah,
that part I'm actually a little bit more freaked out because those realities have hit. But I'm also less freaked out because what's very interesting is that when you have a skill set and you're good at it, people just sort of come to you to do those things. So I still get opportunities to like play guitar, or every now and then somebody, I feel like I get a random law job offer from time to time. So it's nice to know that like those things are still out there if I want them. It's just a matter of like keeping my priorities in line and doing things that make me
Right.
So I'm more freaked out on the financial front, but less freaked out because I have a clear vision of like what a long-term plan really will look like.
Right.
You know, whereas last year it was just like, I'm just going to do this thing. So now that's a little, yeah. What about you?
Yeah. So, so all in all, I feel more calm, you know, in this moment, you know, and I'm just home from Camp Bluegrass, which is a really great camp, and that really makes me feel legitimate and honored as a musician and be like, oh, I've made it, kind of, you know what I mean? Because there's just such support at that camp, and people are really wonderful, and you're treated well, and yeah. Anyway, so like, oh yeah. So I'm still kind of coasting on those happy vibes. But it's also kind of like you're saying, as I'm looking at, and Scott Ferris told us this back in our days at South Plains College. To be a musician is to wake up every day and look for a job. You know? And so I'm still like, okay, all right, I've got, you know, a few things on the calendar, but I need to keep that going. So if I'm not careful, I get a little freaked out about that. But also then I have to remind myself, it's like, it's never not worked out, you know? And so for me, and for those of you out here that do that or want to try it, affirmations do wonders for me. And, you know, so like, if I'm like, yeah, all of my needs are taken care of, or I'm getting the bookings that I need, or, you know, those are the things that I can kind of tell myself are right on my fridge that I'm like, oh yeah, but then it tricks me into like taking, or, you know, the actions that I need to make that happen. So I think I'm confident that it'll work out. I get freaked out a little bit it seems like if I'm not careful, I feel like the stakes get higher all the time, because, you know, you've had some success and you want to keep doing that. And it's like, oh man, if I fail now, then people are really gonna, you know, think I'm worthless or something, you know? And so I think that's why a lot of times we don't try things, is it's easier to fail on a smaller level or something, like, oh, well, I didn't even try. Or, you know, be like, you know, or, I didn't do so well at this open mic that I wasn't getting paid at or something. But it's like, oh man, if I'm going out there and I fall on my face in front of more people, will that hurt more? And I don't know, because I think we, as performers especially, we get a chance to mess up in front of people all the time. And I did this past weekend, and I'm fine. I lived, but and we talk about that in the video too. But yeah, I think a lot of it's like taking my own good advice and realizing that I do have resilience, and continuing to just, have faith in that. And so I feel like there's moments of freak out, but by and large, I'm like, nah, I can do this. And because I love it so much, then, you know, and that's always good to remind myself, like, oh, I chose this, you know, and I continue to choose this, and whatever happens, I'll be choosing that, and I'll be getting clarity, whatever this path takes me on. So, yeah.
All right, Ann. It's been a year.
Well done. It's been a year. We're still here.
We're still here. All right. Well, if you guys want to keep hearing from us, there's a subscribe button below. You can hit the little bell to get notifications when videos come up. Head over to AnnLunaMusic.com, man. She's got her new website that looks great. So, all right. Catch you guys later.
We'll see ya. Thanks.